While state budget writers in Olympia try and find a way to make up for a multi-billion-dollar budget deficit, dozens of bills to change state policies are making their way through the state capitol. Olympia Bureau Chief Drew Mickelson joins us now and has a look at what's moving and what is coming. So first, Drew, what bills are making progress?
Hi, Christine. Well, a lot of that budget work is happening behind the scenes, but up front and publicly with lots of public hearings, they're dealing with some of the issues that really get people fired up, including public safety. A number of bills are moving here. A bill that would hire more police passed out of a Senate committee last week. It provides $100 million in grants over the next 2 years to local and tribal police agencies to hire staff. Washington State is currently at the bottom of the list nationally when it comes to law enforcement per capita. Governor Bob Ferguson said during his inaugural address he would not sign a budget without that funding, so its odds of passing appear strong. Now to a more controversial topic. Legislators listened to some testimony on gun-related laws, and that brought out passionate folks on both sides of the issue. The 2022 deadly shooting of an Ingram High School student in Seattle still stings for classmate Julia Barris.
Ingram High School had a school shooting around 2 years ago where a student was killed just feet away from me.
She was one of dozens who lined up to plead with legislators to take action.
We are Anne Marie and Jim Parsons, and our daughter Carrie was one of the 58 who died that night.
Carrie Parsons from Bainbridge Island was killed in Las Vegas's 2017 mass shooting.
The shooter told his girlfriend he bought in bulk because it was cheaper.
Democrats have a list of gun-related bills they think will save lives. Proposals would require permits to purchase guns, like you need to go hunting. Dealers would only be able to sell a buyer one gun a month and 1,000 rounds of ammo per month. A bill would impose an 11% tax on firearms and ammo. And a Senate committee already passed a ban on guns in public buildings and parks. A bill requiring guns be locked and unloaded in both homes and cars brought out a woman whose teenage brother shot her when she was 8 years old.
My brother did not intend to hurt me that day. That shooting happened because my parents believed the lie that training, rules, and punishment would keep us safe.
When seconds count, 911 is hours away. That's a fact.
But gun owners and their advocates.
So women ask you to please punish criminals instead of women who just want the ability to protect themselves.
Including the National Rifle Association, warned legislators their proposals would only harm law-abiding gun owners trying to defend themselves, while also violating the U.S. and state's constitution.
Driving in this state is a privilege. Going fishing in this state is a privilege. Having a gun, keeping and bearing arms, that's a right.
So, Drew, I know you've been following the move to limit rent increases. Is that bill even going to pass?
Yeah, it's hard to tell at this point. We don't know if it has the votes. It died last year, but it does appear to have some serious momentum. It already passed out of a House committee, and this past week, senators heard some public testimony on it as well. This bill would impose a cap on how much landlords can raise the rent in a year at 7% over a 12-month period. Supporters say rising housing expenses are a major contributor to the state's homelessness crisis, but developers say with a cap, they're less likely to build in Washington, contributing to the housing shortage.
People of color are more likely to face housing instability because of the unaffordability of the basic human right of housing. This is a product of systemic racism, and there is something that the legislature can do about it.
In Washington, we embrace housing developers of all kinds under the ethos that increased supply is good for everyone. But the moment we receive a certificate of occupancy and become a landlord, we go from the hero to the anti-hero. For the housing system in Washington to be win-win, that has to change.
So late last week, we heard about a bill to limit cell phone use in schools. When could that one go into effect?
Well, it would give the school districts in the state a little time to prepare, but the bill would call for a ban on cell phone use during instructional hours starting at the 2026-27 school year.
I kept cutting it close.
There's something missing this year at Lacey's Envision Career Academy, both in the classrooms and in the library at lunch.
Everyone would be piled in here on their phones watching a show or playing games together. It's like it was always really loud.
I remember people would just sit on their phone all day. They wouldn't do a touch of work.
Students say most classmates follow the district's cell phone rule, and those who do like it.
A lot of kids' grades have improved. They're not missing as many assignments. I think it does kind of put more of a focus on learning in the classroom.
It's been an issue for a while. It's like, kids, put your phone away, put your phone, and all of that. And it's like, well, can we get an agreement with the districts?
The teachers union at North Thurston Schools pushed for the restriction, and members say it's working.
Test scores are not rebounding post-pandemic, and I think distraction has to play some role in that.
State Senator Marco Lee has proposed a bill requiring every school district in the state to restrict cell phone use during school hours by the start of the 2026-27 school year. The bill calls on the state to research current bans and come up with statewide recommendations, perhaps allowing cell phone use in between classes or at lunch, or having students lock their phones in pouches while on campus.
Let's share with every district the strategies that have worked, the strategies that aren't, so that as they craft their local policy, they're doing it, with the best data, the best evidence they can, so that it actually works.
Finally, Drew, what can we expect you to be following in this coming week?
Well, there will be a bill heard on Monday that would implement some stiffer penalties for folks who are excessive speeders. Anyone who drives over 30 miles over the speed limit, racers on the freeway, they would face stiffer penalties. And there's also going to be some testimony on Monday from some high school students. And they brought a bill forward to their legislators saying that they want bars and nightclubs to have drug testing strips, so customers can check their drinks to see if anything dangerous has been slipped into them. We heard that this bill does have the support of the nightclub industry, so that is a bill that could be on a fast track as well. We'll be following that one.
All right, Drew. Thank you very much, as always. And for in-depth coverage throughout the legislative session, head over to our free streaming app, King 5 Plus. Right now on the app, you can find Governor Ferguson's inauguration and extended versions of Drew's in-session reports available for streaming.